Hello everyone, Elite Cameraman here. Episode 73 Part 1 just came out, and it truly was a shocker because we got some scenes I don't think anyone expected to see. For a second, I really couldn't believe what was happening. Because the lore dump we just got was probably the biggest ever in the series, and it seems like it is just starting. Until Episode 70 Part 2, we were very clueless about the nature of this world, but ever since we learned the backstory of the secret agent, more and more info has been coming to the surface. What we saw today was a turning point because it answered one of the biggest questions people had until now, a question even bigger than the true nature of Secret Agent and who he is. And this changes everything we knew about the origins of both Skibidi toilets and the hardware heads. Even though the biggest question was answered, it brought up even more questions with it, which we'll talk about. But before we start, make sure to like this video and subscribe to not miss the future videos. Anyways, here we go. The episode starts with us seeing the POV of Camerawoman in episode 70 part 3, right when Dark Speakerman and Plunger Cameraman were dying. And it's exactly when Plunger Cameraman looked at his right before he saw the Mint Cameraman. I don't know if this matters, but we can actually see his lens protector broken and fallen off. Maybe this was intentional to show us that the lens protectors blocked the cameraman from seeing Secret Agent's goons. And another question is, if the lens protector was still on, could the Mint Cameraman use the mind teleporting thingy they did to Plunger Cameraman? These questions probably don't matter compared to what we witnessed later in the episode, but they might become important later on if they are true. After this, we see the Camerawoman trying comfort Speakerwoman, but Speakerwoman pushes her off to grief for her friend, or maybe even her partner. We don't really know the relationship most Alliance members had, but after this episode, it is clear that they were much closer than we thought they were before the war began. After Speakerwoman pushes Camerawoman off, we see Plunger Cameraman start burning out of nowhere, and I'm gonna be honest, we still have no idea what exactly caused this, but something happens, and the footage strangely freezes for a split second and it starts rolling back. This was the first time in the whole series where we got to see a flashback, and in the context of the series it actually makes sense, and we are still watching it from the POV Camerawoman watching from his tablet, as we'll see later in the video. First, we see the footage of episode 57, where Plunger Cameraman almost died and was once again split in half just like a Kit Kat. Bro just likes getting split in half, I guess. And Camerawoman might be saying to herself that he'll survive once again. But after this, we start going way back. The next scene is from episode 52, where we were first introduced to Camerawoman and saw the two together for the first time. Most of you probably were not watching me at that point, but episode 52 analysis was one of my first analysis videos to get popular, and I remember guessing that the Camerawoman and Plunger Cameraman duo seemed like they already knew each other beforehand. And it looks like this theory was now confirmed. The next scene we see is actually from way back, even before I started making analysis videos. Even though it is a flashback, it is new footage because back then the series actually was only in short format. And I don't think this is a scene we saw before. My assumption is that it's a scene that happened between episode 37 and 38, from looking at the environment and the infected Titan Speakerman. The good old days when our only worry was saving Titan Speakerman from the parasite toilet. And you can also see that Plunger Cameraman actually had a red tie here instead of a black one, clearly confirming that he changed his tie color. After this, we actually see the first version of Titan Cameraman getting upgraded. And I do wonder if they upgraded his sword just like Titan TV Man had his quote-unquote sword upgraded. Here we also see Plunger Cameraman with one leg missing, and it most likely might have happened from what the next flashback showed, because I went through all the shorts, and there were no indications for an event like this. But the next scene actually starts with something crazy. We see my eternal enemy, the simp cameraman, sitting on a toilet looking at a particular picture that I need to steal. It is insane that bro started simping before he was even saved by TV Woman in episode 49, and there are two more cameramen looking at the picture with him admiring my beloved TV Woman. Just you wait, simp cameraman. I'ma steal that frame one day. I do wonder when he'll actually be returning though. He really has been gone for a while. Also in the back, we see a scientist cameraman with a large cameraman cleaning up the place, while Plunger Cameraman is standing in the middle of the street, with the lucky cameraman staring at him. But suddenly something happens and a rocket toilet appears out of nowhere, leaving our quote-unquote lucky cameraman running for his life just like always, and the scene pauses right before the impact, which most likely means Plunger Cameraman lost one of his legs in this battle, and bro is used to losing legs, and if you look at the right side when the footage freezes, we can see the large cameraman doing the Miles Morales shocked face. Even with all this, the craziest flashback ever, and one of the biggest reveals happens right after this scene, but before I get into it, I need to tell you about the Elite Cameraman plushie. I'll keep it short, but I basically started a petition to bring this Elite Cameraman plushie concept to life. And if we can get 200 pledges, Makeship will make this Elite Cameraman plushie a reality. You only have 7 more days to support this campaign, and if you want one, make sure to check it out from the link in the description because it won't be made unless we reach the goal. And don't worry if we can't reach the goal, the money you pledged will be fully refunded. Anyways, it's time to talk about the first crazy part about the episode. While the flashback is rolling back, we actually see something that slightly makes sense in the glitchy images, and it is clear that there is a camera head looking at the screen, but it's black and white and impossible to understand who or when it is. And the next thing we know, the camera aspect ratio changes, and the footage starts looking like a VHS tape, and we see humans. We see a woman setting up the camera in a room full of scientists, while an announcement says, "Attention Group C, please prepare for the experiment." And she says, "Dave, look back," while giving a double thumbs up just like Camerawoman, and Dave says, "Nah, I'm good." While this is going on, the white suit scientist on the left says, "Switch it back to normal," and the woman says, "All right" to Dave, which continues on with the scientists on the left saying, "Okay, we are all set, proceed with phase 1, Kathy." And Dave gives a thumbs up, suddenly looking back at the camera, even though he said no at first. And right before they start the experiment, which leads up to the huge blue laser beam firing, Kathy says, "Opening the gate." Before we talk about the meaning of this scene, watch it once without any interruptions.
Look back.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Okay, we're all set. Proceed with phase 1, Kathy.
Okay. Opening the gate.
Before I continue on, did you guys see that at the beginning of the tape? Someone actually moved past the camera, and the clothes look very familiar. It is not 100% clear, but I think it is very likely that these legs who went past by us are the legs of Lucky Cameraman in his human form. As you guys know, a lot of people have been wondering if the hardware heads were human before the Skibidi toilets started taking over the world, and this scene pretty much confirms it. We know that it's Camerawoman watching and grieving about Plunger Cameraman, and she clearly went way back into her memories, or however you want to call it, and this beautiful lady is clearly Camerawoman. And before we talk about the serious topics, damn bro, she truly has been hiding her gaiat all this time with the clothes she was wearing. Holy moly. Anyways, we learn that her name is Kathy, and Plunger Cameraman's real name is Dave, at least I assume. Technically, it is not 100% confirmed that Dave is Plunger Cameraman, but I don't see a possibility that it isn't. This also confirms that they all can most likely speak plain English even as cameraman, because we saw Titan Cameraman say, "For Plunger," at the end of the last episode. This does beg the question, though, how did the Titans came to be? Forget the Titans, how did these people become hardware heads? Maybe this means that the Titans are actually controlled remotely, or they are just like the scientist toilet controlling these huge robotic bodies from inside. How is it decided who becomes what? Like why Dave and Kathy become a cameraman when some others became toilets and some others became speakerman, so on. I think it's safe to assume that the scientist on the far left might be the mech scientist cameraman we all love and adore. And as I mentioned earlier, there was an announcement at the beginning of the tape and it said, "Attention Group C," meaning that Group C maybe is the overall group that was working on the blue energy, which is the cameraman energy. It might be safe to assume that Group A and Group B might have been the other two races with different color energies, because the blue energy we see here is clearly the same cameraman energy we know. We don't really know why they are testing this or what exactly they are testing, because this might not just be a test where they test the energy, but maybe there is something bigger going on. We also know that this footage is from 1985, which means it's almost 6 years after the secret agent was hired to the Alpha Hills lab. Maybe this place is Alpha Hills lab. Maybe these guys were working together with the secret agent. Maybe it was secret agent who started all this research. There is an incredible amount of questions we need to be asking. This scene also kinda reminded me of the scene from the first Spider-Verse movie where they were trying to open up the multiverse device. I don't know if that's where Boom is headed, but it is not impossible considering that he dabbled with the idea of multiple universes in one of his old series called Multiverse of Beatbox. It might be that the secret agent is from another universe, and while trying to go back to his own universe, he created both factions. I think Kathy saying, "opening the gate," does support this idea, and even though we have no idea what this gate is, maybe the hardware heads and Skibidi toilets are a virus that came from a different universe, and the secret agent is trying to clean up his mistakes by creating these gates, or maybe he wanted to do this. We just don't know what's going on. Maybe this experiment was done for a good cause and something completely unrelated, and it just went wrong, leading for it to become the thing that turned them into hardware heads. Or maybe there are still years until they become hardware heads. No matter what happened, or how it happened, for some reason they don't speak at all in most cases and communicate without words. Overall, it feels like they are trying to forget their past and their new lives, as hardware heads are way different. We also have one more theory that comes up from this scene, which is that the special agents are smarter than the average agents. It may be the case that the scientists that were working on these projects are the only special agents, and unless you are above a certain IQ level, it is very hard or impossible to become one of the special agents like the Plunger Cameraman. According to my interview with Boom a while ago, more characters will be getting introduced soon, so we'll most likely learn more about this as we go on. But what type of coincidence is both Camerawoman and Plunger Cameraman knowing each other and being scientists before becoming cameraman? There also is the question of why the secret agent wasn't affected by all this. As far as we know, he is the last human remaining, at least on the surface. There still might be other humans remaining in shelters, since to our knowledge, a Skibidi needs to come into contact with a human to turn them into toilets. Maybe that's how the process of becoming a hardware head worked as well. I'll most likely talk more about this topic in a separate video tomorrow, but for now, let's continue on with the rest of the episode because it looks like we are getting ready for another big battle, and a lot more happened in this episode. After the flashbacks, we finally start seeing the real POV and learn that Camerawoman was watching all this on her tablet. But bro, what is Boom trying to cook? If you look at the tablet number, Blood gave Camerawoman number 69. I'm starting to feel like bro favors Camerawoman more than my beloved TV woman. He better show us her true beauty when she used to be human. After this, we see that we are in a camera helicopter alongside of other reinforcement cameraman, and everyone starts jumping off to the battlefield to clean up the rest of the base, and Camerawoman literally snipes helicopter toilets while flying with her upgraded weapons and kicks the toilet we saw on the last leak right before shooting him in the eyes, making him blind. We also can see that the secret agent is at the same place as we saw on the leaks, and he actually was watching even before Camerawoman came in, because while she is flying, we can see him standing there after shooting the toilet on his eyes. Camerawoman dodges the toilet's attack, and here on this scene we can actually see one more thing about the leak that was posted. I mentioned that it said 74 6 times on the right side of the leak, which was the fortress wall we see behind the toilet, and the text is nowhere to be seen. And I think this clearly indicated that something huge will happen in episode 74. And even though it seems like we'll be getting a big battle in part 2 of episode 73, episode 74 will definitely matter more, and will be crazier since Boom is already hyping it up even though it's 2 episodes away. After dodging, Camerawoman actually pulls out Plunger Cameraman's last plunger he used and starts using it as if she is him, stabbing the toilet right on his face before throwing 2 toilet paper nades inside the toilet, exploding it from the inside while flipping him off. She mad for real. She turns to his right instantly to help one of the medic cameraman, but she gives his left hand before seeing that the medic cameraman has lost his left arm, resulting for them changing hands, which also probably made Camerawoman sad even more since Plunger Cameraman used to lose a lot of limbs as well. I guess we also need to talk about when agents bleed and when not in my analysis tomorrow, because it really is a weird topic. We sometimes see them bleed, sometimes they simply just don't. It also looks like this medic cameraman has a special tie, so it could meant hat. He becomes a more prominent character after he gets his left arm fixed up with a new upgrade, maybe. And if you look carefully, we can still see the secret agent watching from behind the fire. We don't know the exact reason why he is here, but it may have to do with the connection Plunger Cameraman and Camerawoman had. Maybe they knew the secret agent before they became cameraman. Maybe they were friends. Who knows? After this, we actually see a bunch of toilets start attacking the reinforcement squad, but for the first time ever, we see how the camerawoman's aimbot ability works from her POV, and she starts targeting everyone with her new upgraded cannon, and it truly is overpowered if she can one-shot all these guys just like that. But we don't know if this aimbot ability has a cooldown or not. We also can still see the secret agent standing at the same exact place as if nothing happened, while the reinforcement cameraman and camerawoman are walking towards the fortress, but something really unexpected happens. Suddenly, a laser blast is thrown, and a huge mutant toilet flies down, killing both reinforcement cameraman with ease. Bro pulled a Titan cameraman move and crushed a cameraman in his hand. The Jim Bro mutant toilet is truly something else. I wonder how much he can bench. He has 2 sharp blades on his arms, and his laser weapons also looks a lot more advanced compared to most of the other toilets, and those gloves, bro. This guy is so creepy. He slowly walks towards Camerawoman with a huge grin on his face as if he is going to give the special treatment to Camerawoman, but suddenly the toilets see something coming and he instantly flees without even thinking, even though this mutant toilet looked like he could take on all the reinforcement agents around the area alone. What we saw next probably shocked all of us the first time we saw it, because when Camerawoman turned around, she saw a crazed scientist toilet arriving at the scene who is supposed to be dead, and it's attacking the toilets. He kills both the plane toilets and starts staring at Camerawoman, but it doesn't attack, and suddenly the tablet gets a notification, and we see my beloved TV woman who is just the perfect specimen, and she does that cute you pose. Oh my god. I'm down bad anyways. A message to Boom here. You showed Camerawoman's real face. I'm gonna be waiting for the TV woman archival footage before the war in my DMs, thanks. It seems like she is manually controlling the scientist body. When you think about it, she can normally control other toilets with her head, but it seems like since this body is not alive but just a robot, she can't do that since it doesn't have a mind on its own. Camerawoman gives a thumbs up to TV woman, and we see a bunch of container helicopter toilets arriving at the scene, and whatever Project Scientist toilet was cooking before he died might be really important, because G-Man toilet is the one escorting this project, and we saw 4 containers already, which TV woman actually shot one of them, and the container actually fell down right before G-Man toilet arrived to the scene. This is where the first leak's photo has been taken, and now I understand why he was shocked and sad. It seems like this is where he learned that his bestie died and his body is being controlled. It truly must be sad for him, especially after that kiss they shared in the troll leaks. TV woman attacks G-Man toilet with the lasers, but it doesn't even do a dent to G-Man toilet's shield, and bro literally rams onto it and uses his lasers to finish off the body so that it won't be used again. I don't think TV woman died inside the body, and she will definitely come back. But if you look at G-Man toilet's face after he shot the scientist toilet's body, he looks like he is really sad, and he stops to make sure the chopper toilets get the container back. But Camerawoman instantly flies on top of the roof to kill the chopters, but her cannon doesn't do any damage. It looks like it's only good against small toilets, and right here when it seemed like it was all done for Camerawoman, someone starts shooting the containers and kills the chopper toilets, and it's no other than Titan Speaker Man. And the way bro was sitting there as if he is him, and the way he got up with the Valve logo sound looking like a cowboy spinning his arm cannons was so cold. After this, the whole gang slowly shows up, and I literally got chills while this was happening. Titan TV Man, as if he comes out of the teleportation smoke, says, "There is nowhere to run in reverse. Here you go, listen to it yourself." Hearing this, G-Man Toilet, instead of becoming scared, starts speaking English for the first time, and damn, bro's voice was deep as hell. He said, "Fools, you have no idea what's coming," with that deep, majestic voice. Here you go, listen to it yourself. which Titan TV man replies with, "Whatever is coming, you won't survive to see it," in reverse. Here you go, listen to it yourself. After this, even though G-Man Toilet should be pretty scared, he is happy for some reason. There is something shady going on, and G-Man might actually cook in part 2 if he is acting as smart as he did in the last episode. We also know that if Titans wins this battle, the Alliance will have a part of whatever the scientist Toilet was building as his last project. And with Boom hyping up episode 74 a lot with the leaks, I really don't know what to expect. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and also don't forget to check out the link in the description if you are interested in the Elite Cameraman plushie.